there, welcome back to my views and news, another video for you. The developments in the Amhara region are keeping me busy, trying to cover as much as I can to keep you updated. Some people who are interested in the conflict in Sudan, they are complaining. Some Tigrayans too, they say, Sajid, you are not covering what is happening in Tigray. What could be the impact of the war, the fighting in Amhara on Tigray, and some other key issues are also being neglected or overlooked by my views and news. Yes, Amhara region is seeing unprecedented tensions. Lot is happening. Even whatever is happening, it's difficult to cover it entirely. But I'm trying my best. But rest assured, we'll cover all major developments from Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Sudan to now, when Ethiopian government has imposed state of emergency in the Amhara region and temporary command posts are going to be established, military is going to be in charge in the Amhara region. Question is, what is going to be the impact of the unrest in Amhara on Tigray? On Tigray-Amhara relations, on Tigray-Amhara claims to disputed territories. Before that, are any Tigray fighters, Tigray military officers part of the military offensive on Amhara? People have been asking questions since yesterday. Yesterday, some Amhara news sources claim that a TPLF, a Tigray colonel had been arrested in Gondar. Well, I don't have any verified information that Tigray forces are part of the war on Amhara. Though, if you remember, Amhara forces were part of the war on Tigray. When Tigray was attacked by Ethiopian military in November 2020, Amhara Special Force, Amhara Fano militia, all were part of the offensive. This time, though ENDF is under pressure in the Amhara region, so far I could not confirm the deployment of Tigray fighters, Tigray military officers in the war in Amhara. Rumors are being spread by some Amhara activists. Different Amhara activists are taking different lines. Some are calling for Amhara Tigray unity. Some are claiming that Tigray fighters are supporting ENDF. And some opposition Eritrean groups and members, they are also building an analysis, claiming that Tigray could be in trouble, Eritrea could start supporting Amhara forces. So Tigray should set its direction, it should start supporting Ethiopian military. Different narratives, different analysis are being shared. So far, I have no tangible evidence showing that Tigray forces or fighters are part of the war in Amhara, firstly. Secondly, will Tigray join ENDF at a later stage? We'll discuss in coming videos. But in this video, I want to express my fears. I want to share my concern with you about the impact of this conflict in Amhara on Tigray. Already there have been tensions between Tigray and Amhara regions about disputed territories, Raya, Koram, Volkai, Thumera, Sagade. Return of IDPs. IDPs were not being allowed to return to both Volkai and Raya by Amhara temporary governments installed there. ENDF was trying to bring IDPs from Tigray to the disputed territories. And ENDF was trying to take full control of Koram, Raya, Volgayat, Amhara, Sagadet, though it was facing resistance. Now, when we're seeing large-scale fighting in the Amhara region, Ethiopian military is going to be overstretched, I think. Since military is under pressure, we saw what happened in Gondar, in Shoa, in Gojam too. There will be need of more reinforcements for Ethiopian National Defense Force in Amhara. From where these reinforcements will come in Amhara? Nearby areas are two zones: Koram, Raya, Volgayat, Amhara, Sagadet. Because it is becoming difficult to send troops from Oromia to Amhara. Roads are closed. Oromia to Gajam, roads closed. Oromia to North Shore, roads closed. Through Afar too, it's difficult because the Fano fighters have presence to the west of, to the east and west of Kobo. So it means that easily available route for reinforcements is from Raya, Koram and Volgayat. Easy and speedy movement of troops can only be ensured from these two zones. And now when ENDF is coming under pressure in Amhara, and now when state of emergency has been imposed, there is definitely need of new reinforcements. So you'll see that Ethiopian military deployed in the two zones will start moving towards Amhara region. Military is going to be relocated. Not entirely, but major portion of ENDF in both Koram, Raya and Volgayat could be now moved from these two zones towards the Amhara region. And I wouldn't be surprised if I come to know that it is already happening. I have been saying, if you remember, that ENDF is separating Amhara and Tigray forces in the disputed territories. If there is no ENDF, they'll start clashing, they'll start fighting Amhara and Tigray sides. Why? Because both have conflicting claims to the future status of Raya and Volgayat, Raya, Koram, Volgayat, Sagadet, and despite some engagements, discussions and proposals, the issues are unresolved. And one of the reasons behind this escalation, law and order situation in the Amhara region is that Amhara Fano fighters believe their federal government had decided to hand over Raya and Volgayat to Tigray fighters. And they're using this narrative that they're fighting for Volgayat, Raya, Amhara, Sagadet, Koram. It means that if this conflict in Amhara goes on, firstly, we'll see the movement of ENDF from Volgayat, Raya, Koram to Amhara, and then we'll see changes in the two zones where there are temporary governments controlled by Amhara regional government. Already militias are being raised in the two disputed territories by Amhara militias are being raised. I had some videos on that. In Raya Lamata, new militias are being raised. East Amhara Fano fighters of Colonel Muhabao Fantahun and Merevodajo, they also entered Raya Lamata a few days ago. In Volgayat, Damak Zadu has his own militia. He has close ties with Eritreans too. So if ENDF starts withdrawing, which will happen, I think, from both zones, it means that new militias will emerge, existing militias will be strengthened. Will Tigray let it happen? Will Tigray just watch silently like a spectator that ENDF is moving towards Amhara region and Amhara militias are becoming stronger. No. This is my fear which I want to share with you, my concern. Tigray won't sit silent. Tigray will have to make some decisions. And if you remember, some Tigray leaders were impatient a few months ago. They wanted speedy rehabilitation of IDPs, return of IDPs from Tigray to Volga Amhara, Quorum 2. So now, if ENDF withdraws and more Amhara militias emerge or Amhara militias become stronger, Tigray won't sit silent. The force which is separating them is ENDF. We are presuming ENDF is withdrawing, then there will be a likelihood of a direct conflict between Tigray and Amhara forces. That is what I believe, that somehow Ethiopian military must maintain its presence in both zones. If they start withdrawing, believe me, we could see expansion of the conflict in the Amhara region. Conflict now is just in the Amhara region. There is no fighting in other regions too. But if the two zones are, if ENDF leaves the two zones, Tigray could be involved. And I think sooner or later, Tigray will have to make a decision. Does it back a national state of emergency declared? Other players too. Other players in Ethiopia, they'll have to make some decisions. Orthodox Church last night issued a statement calling for peace, saying that Ethiopia just out of a war, persecution, war in a northern part, people died there, massacres happened, people suffered, and Ethiopia cannot afford a new war. That is why problems should be resolved through dialogue. But the statement came last night. Now, Church will have to take a position. Does Church back this imposition of state of emergency, which has been rejected by the groups fighting in the Amhara region? Does Tigray back this imposition of state of emergency? So sooner or later, I think Tigray will be involved. What will be the scale of involvement? It's difficult to say. Military involvement to the extent of supporting Ethiopian PM, that we'll see in coming days. But Tigray cannot remain aloof because of its proximity to the conflict, because of its dispute with Amhara region about Raya and Volkait. Let's hope that this conflict comes to an end. Otherwise, I think the conflict could go beyond Amhara borders, it seems. Thank you for watching.